Okay, I did exotic dancing. Meh, not my cup of joe. And then when I started escorting, just being an escort, I started meeting people, and it was really like, I kind of enjoyed it because I got to meet different people.
All right, Lisa.
Yes.
Lisa, where are you from originally? Where did you grow up?
I originally grew up in a small city called Nashville, Tennessee.
Tell me about your family growing up.
Well, my family, I was in a, you might as well say, an okay family. My mom and dad wasn't hardly around. So I basically had to teach myself how to read from playing the game Zelda. Taught me how to read and how to self-cook. And I was pretty much by myself through all years of my life, till 18.
What were your parents busy with that they...
My father, he was a state battalion of the fire department, and my mother was a travel nurse. So she would go out of state. Yep.
And raising their child was not a priority?
It wasn't I guess not a priority to them, because in the end, my mother wanted to be more of a friend than a mother. To where like I said, I would have sitters, but they wouldn't babysit me. They would do whatever, get the money, and then sit down, do whatever they wanted, and then here I am by myself. Come on, who should be, learning how to read by themselves, playing a game Zelda, and that's how I learned how to read and write. And everything was by myself, knowing that I have a father here and a mother here that's capable of doing it all. And I just got apparently thrown into the corner, pitch black. So it was hard, but I had a good bringing up financially. But if you say come into the relationship of mother and child and father and child, no, I really didn't have that.
And how would you describe your childhood in general?
My childhood in general, I did everything I wanted. I had everything I wanted as a child. And who would want that? I'm the type, I want to experience, like, I've had Christmases by myself to where, okay, yeah, I wanted the new Barbie dream house. Had it, got it, and it was like something's missing. Like, I always thought something's missing. Like, I would have friends, and then they'll won't be my friend no more, and then I'm like, okay, something's missing. And that's how my bringing was. I'm mostly by myself, isolated myself a lot.
Did you feel loved as a kid?
I'm gonna be real with you, no and yes. Yes part is they had to do it. And then the no part is because what parent would leave their child like that? Even if it's, yes, business, I get it. But in the end, my mother and father should be teaching me how to read, not a game system.
Right.
And that's what really showed me, like, if there's love out there, you love me, why aren't you here for me right now? Why am I having to deal with a sitter, a nanny? Yeah, it's very bad with that nanny, but yeah, it's...
What were you like as a teenager?
With a teenager, I was still to myself. I'm 37 now, and I still to this day only got like maybe 5 friends out of my whole life. I was always to myself. I was homeschooled until high school. Until I had to get begged. My nanny had to beg my father to let her go to high school.
Homeschooled by who?
By my nanny.
By your nanny?
Yeah.
So you had a nanny.
Yeah. And she wanted me to live my life. Like, go and be a kid, live your life, have fun. I said, how can I have fun when I've already did everything here I wanted? What is there to do? And she's like, I'm here, and I did everything I wanted.
And you graduated high school?
Yes, I graduated.
What did you want to do with your life?
I wanted, believe it or not, I went into college to be a surgeon assistant. And I completed about 4 years out of 5. So I had like one more rough year until both of my parents died. My mom died both same year. My mom died in January, and then my dad died in December. And it was very rough because at that time in the state I was from, a certain age requirement was adulthood was 25, and I wasn't 25. To where I got put in state's custody and sitting there like, okay, I have a family member come and get me. Yay. My mom's side or my dad's side did not come and help me. And I hear this big old woman, where's my sweet tea? And I'm like, oh my God, that's my nanny. What the hell? She's like, come on, I'm taking you home. I'm adopting you. And I'm like, oh, wow, this strange, I'm gonna call it a bitch though my whole life, adopted me and brought me in, and it felt good. Like, this one cares about me because she practically raised me. She was more of the mother, and my real mom was more of a friend. And I feel like that was like a major no-no in my life.
Do you feel like this childhood that you had, this unusual childhood, kind of?
It's very unusual due to what also happened between my mom and my dad. My mom, she got really sick. And when I say sick, it was sick to where she couldn't intimately take care of my father. And that's where my nanny come in at. And she was my father's bed companion. Each night, day, I would go to bed, and this woman would come at the same time every day into my dad's bedroom and leave the next morning, same time, and my mom and dad leave with the Beaver family. Happy, nice. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? I'm like, if that was me, oh no, what's going on here? And then my mother sat me down, and she's like, look, if you love your family, if you love your husband, you'll do whatever you can to keep that family together. And that's what I'm trying to do, girl. And I'm like, you got brass tits, Mom. You okay? And that's when I talked about I was really raging bull with my nanny. And that's when I figured, damn, you've been banging my dad? What? She's like, your mom couldn't do it. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm older, I understand more. Because due to that, hearing about that kind of got a little dark for me growing up a little bit.
So the nanny and your father were...
Yeah, that was his bed companion. That was the only thing she was there for, was to satisfy him. Because my mother, she couldn't. She got real sick to where it proned her to a wheelchair. And my mom was always, I would hear my mom do the whole life, like, I'm going to do what it takes to keep my family together. And I'm like, okay, I want to be just like you. And then I hear about this, I'm like, whoa, I don't. Not at this part, I don't. I'm good. And that's when it kind of turned the lights a little bit on. My dark aura, I call it the dark aura, to where that's when I started, trying out new, different things an average Southern broad shouldn't be doing. And yeah, I did all types of dancing when I was a kid. That's what I mentioned about, the lights, to where I was at Tennessee Performing Arts Center to 18, to where I did all types of dancing from ballet to tap to tumbling, to where I did exotic. And I'm like, I gotta try it. And I tried it, and that's when all the girls there, have you ever tried this before, that before? And I'm like, no, I never even smoked a joint. And you're here dancing erotically? And I'm like, why not? And so I tried weed, tried it all, and then I started having a crazy lifestyle after that. Then I went to escorting. And I was like, wow. Okay, I did exotic dancing. Not my cup of joe. And then when I started escorting, just being an escort, I started meeting people, and it was really like, I kind of enjoyed it because I got to meet different people. And just being a busybody during the day, at night, you need somebody to talk to. And I was more of a therapist, you would say, and I enjoyed it. And whatever happened. We're adults. Whatever happens. And so that's when I remember in Long Beach, when I came up here, I got hit in Long Beach in the alley, and so it messed up my whole right leg to where I got put on pain meds. And I remember my boyfriend at the time, he used all my pain meds one day, and he was selling them, and I never knew what a withdrawal was. And I started getting withdrawal, and that's when he got scared, went to his brother. He was like, please help her, she's sick, I never seen her like this. And that's when he fixed it, came up to me with my head in the toilet. I'm like, I trust you. And he slammed me, and that's when my brain said, bitch, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. And then I remember I jumped up with vomit all over me. Let's clean this house now. We got to clean. And that's when the roller coaster of heroin came about. After that, I went and tried to get on methadone, got clean. And I was like, ew, nasty, because I'm doing one for the other. And this shit's getting me more fucked up than the heroin. I'm like, something's got to give here. And so being said, being homeless, I was homeless because, by law, if you don't have a home in your name, you're homeless. So here I am, homeless, with an addiction. And I'm like, something's got to give here. And that's when I stayed clean, but I started to use crystal every once in a while. And that's when Fetty came around. I call it Fetty Wap, like the rapper Freddie Wap. And I tried it, and I was like, uh-oh. And that's my brain saying, bitch, you're in trouble again. Why? And that's what I've been going through. But the obstacles I've been through is very tremendous. And I've been through a lot of stuff that I believe from being a child to now, somebody shouldn't have been through. I should have had a better raising, a better parent being there instead of being a friend. Should have been more of a mother. And maybe my life wouldn't have turned out the way it turned out.
Do you feel like if your childhood was more conventional, more normal, let's call it, that you'd be walking a straighter path now?
I believe so, yes. Mm-hmm. Because when you're a kid, who do you look up to the most? Your mom and your dad. And who was there for me to look up to? A bad companion. Go figure. And that was not the proper, I believe, the way it should have been. It should have been more like, I'm right here to the fullest. Or I believe if my mom shouldn't have been a travel nurse. It should have just been residential. But no, it didn't turn out like that. That's the way the cookie crumbled. That's the life I was brought into. And either A, deal with it, or B, don't deal with it and do whatever you can to make you deal with it. And that's where I believe the drugs came in, was to, in the end, no matter what, it was the past. The past can't be cured. But mentally, it's still there. And mentally, it still hurts because being an adult, I see a mom with her child. It hurts to where, why couldn't my mother be like that with me? And then that's when I have to do a drug just to calm me down. Just to be like, it's not fair because how can, it happened to me. I've been raped. I went through hell and back, walking through the depths of hell. And just to be like, okay, I know I'm not the only one here, going through hell, but why am I getting the most repercussion? All because I'm different. I'm not even a citizen. It's all because my family is more or less like, it's all about me, fuck my family. To where what parent would make their child go through customs? I had to go through customs. It was fucked up. To where my mom, I felt like more or less, I wish my mom would have listened to the doctor and said, don't get on that plane. Because if you get on the plane, you're going to give birth to her, it's going to be too late. 20 miles away from the airport, my mom pops me out in a different country, made me a legal citizen. And to where now I have to look over my shoulder because of the mistakes my parents made. And that's where I really do most of the drugs for, is because how am I going to fix this? I got to fix my mother's mistakes. I mean, she could have just trusted my dad and let my dad go see his mom and dad and come back. And we could have had me in a U.S. hospital. And that's really fucked up. But she only cared about herself. She didn't care about me.
So where are you living now?
I live here in L.A.
But you're on the streets?
Yeah. It's sad that, I do Airbnbs every once in a while, but mostly I'm on the street, and it sucks. It sucks because in the end, sometimes it does matter how your family do you. Because I have inheritance. I've had an ex took my bank account $127,000. It was very rough because in the end, you just want to be nice and give it your all. Because, I told my ex, I was like, I'll do whatever I can to be able to see you every day. That's the wrongest mistake ever. Don't ever do that. I would tell somebody, don't ever do that. I gave them my inheritance, everything, just to be able to have, you might as well say, a family. And yeah, it was very hard and difficult, but in the end, I learned from my mistakes. Never hand out money. If they love you for you, and not what you can give. So that's where, so I've had financially been boozled. My, citizenship boozled. Everything's crazy. Like, it hit me. And then going to school, I was going to better myself, be a surgeon assistant. Just to have that just go down the drain, which hopefully I can get that fixed in the future.
Yeah.
That's where.
It's never too late.
No, it's not. That, and there should be no excuse, but the excuse I have is I'm not using an excuse. I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah. And fentanyl has a hold on you now?
It's horrible. Like, I will tell people, it feels good when you do it. It feels good at that time when you're numbing yourself. But after when you numb yourself, your problem is still there. And that's why I tell people, if you're using a drug to numb yourself, have a bag of napkins ready, because guess what? When you numb yourself and you're done, you're going to cry again. To where it's not going to make it go away. It's going to make it worse. I believe it makes it worse because you have another habit you're going to have to try to take care of, because you got to take care of yourself from crying, from hiding all the repercussion you went through. Now you got another thing you got to do. Hide, this addiction. And it's everybody think it's easy. It's not easy to hide an addiction, because it takes an addict to know an addict. It takes a person who's clean to spot somebody using. And nowadays it's all about society. And it's very hard to hide that from society when society is dwelling upon certain things they want out of every human. Yeah.
How are you making money now?
I currently escorting, and I escort, and I also do freelance writing. I mean, it's not fun to admit it, but in the end, why lie about it? It's there, it is what it is. Yeah, I do it, okay, yeah. I had to do what I had to do because of my status of citizenship, my college, everything else. I got to do what I have to do. If I can't get a real job here, what else there to do?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here in a wormhole and die and vacate. No, I'm going to do what I got to do to take care of every problem I have, and that's addiction, that's citizenship, status of being homeless, and my mental state, So I got 3 things I'm taking care of.
What are your biggest regrets?
My biggest regrets is really having regrets. Having to regret that I did this and did that when I could have just been a good girl. But in the end, what is a good girl? But the biggest regret I will say is I should have continued school. There's functioning addicts. Why can you be a functioning addict? Why you gotta be a depressive addict? That's what my biggest regret is.
Do you think there's a chance you'll be in this situation the rest of your life?
For that, hopefully no. Hopefully maybe I can get that feeling again of completion, to want to complete something else. And maybe I can complete from being an addict and complete my college, to have a home and have a family that I really, really wanted in the end. Or get to be that mom that I wish I deserved. And a father that I wish was there,
What do you worry about now? What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of when I die, the real truth about life's not out there. I want to be heard. I want to be known. Not just be a typical person in the shadows anymore. I'm tired of that. Not just that poor girl. I want to be known like, this is what I went through. I struggled, but in the end, I came out. And I'm okay. It's okay.
Do you feel like you're a little bit self-destructive?
Self-destructive mentally, yes. But physically, no, because once I see a child, it's just like I crumble. To where I'm like, okay, I'm this big monster. But when I see a child, I just fall out into this girl who just wants to hug a child. And just, it's okay. I'm here for you because I love kids. And I'm here for you, And that's what some people see me as when I'm an addict. I'm a monster. And I'm not. I'm a human just like everybody else. It's just I'm taking it different. I'm using different type of tools, I believe, to hide it and try to fulfill my depression. And it's not getting fulfilled because my glass keeps tipping over and I got to refill it again.
What is your greatest strength, would you say?
My greatest strength will probably be my mind and my education, I know. Because I love to read, I love to learn. And my biggest tool so far in California when I moved up here was my mouth, my weapon, to where I know law. I love to read. I love language, English, all that. To where that is my biggest weapon is, education. To where I had a peeve, I wanted to be a teacher. So how can I be a teacher if I'm like this? This is not going to happen. To where I need to take care of myself. To where in the end, that's what I really want, is to be a teacher. To where I can teach the kids, been there, done it, got a t-shirt made. To where I know what it feels like to be, to where in the end I can help a child and I can help their family too.
Yeah.
And that's what I went through. So my biggest weapon is my education, my words, because I stop people a lot like, what you say? Can you please rephrase that? Hey is for horses. Don't come to me, hey. Say hello, how are you? Then, I will talk to you. So, yeah, education, how you talk direct is, my biggest power.
You describe your interesting childhood. What would you say is your favorite memory from your childhood?
My favorite memory was when I was dancing at Miss Kathy's dance studio in Tennessee, and there was a father-daughter dance by, I can't remember the singer, but it's a song called Hearts Are Gonna Roll. And it was me and my daddy. And he took time out of his busy schedule to learn the dance, and we got in front of Tennessee Performing Arts Center, and we got to do the dance.
That's sweet.
That was the greatest memory ever. And my mom was, when she would be there to practice when my dad couldn't. To her, that was the best moments I had with my mom and my dad.
So your parents were there some of the time?
Yeah. But most of the time, no. I had to have somebody else to take care of me. And that's where sometimes I felt like I wasn't loved, because you had to have somebody else to do your dirty work. Yeah, and I believe you have a baby, be there. Even if you can't, at least try. And that's what I felt like they wasn't there.
Right.
And that's what turned me to drugs.
Lisa, let me ask you one last question. What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
The most important lesson I've learned: don't worry about others, what they say about you. Worry about yourself. Put you first. If you're a giver, stop for a second and give to yourself. Because when you give, and leave yourself out, you wind up like me, with nothing. And that's the biggest lesson I learned. Carefully love yourself first before you get out there and love something or somebody else. And you wouldn't have the situation.
All right. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your story.
No problem, anytime.
I wish you lots of luck from here on out. Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was designing the first Soft White Underbelly book, I realized that there were so many great portraits that weren't going to make it into that book. They just wouldn't fit. And once I saw how well that first book sold, I knew I'd have to design a second book. This second book is finally ready to ship. Like the first one, this book has a collection of some of the best portraits from Soft White Underbelly, accompanied by a quote from that person's interview. This book features another group of Rebecca portraits, as well as a collection of color images of the Whitaker family, and plenty of others. You can order yours for $125 or $150 for a signed copy at softwhiteunderbelly.org. Again, like the first book, once this book is sold out, I will not be printing more of them. The portraits are what Soft White Underbelly is all about, and these two books contain the best of all that work. Thank you for watching.